All right. So what they want you to do right now, ignore this thing here. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at this piece of table. What information does it look like they're trying to communicate in the graph? What might be misleading about this graph or wrong with this graph? All right. So go ahead and do that. Give you about 2 minutes.
What graph are we looking
at? The one with the pizza. Oh my goodness. So maybe you want to just use notebook paper. Might want to log in and log out, Sarah. Right now it says it is projecting, so. All right, let's take a look at this one here. Okay, what are they trying to communicate with this pizza graph here?
What type of toppings do people prefer?
What type of toppings do people prefer? It doesn't say if it's their favorite. Maybe they can pick multiple ones. What is misleading about this? Doesn't add up to 100. So most likely, I can like pepperoni, mushrooms, and that. You can like more than one thing. Otherwise, if you only had a choice of one thing, it would add up to 100. What else is misleading about the graph?
There's two different percentages on one slice.
Yeah, there's two or more things on each slice here. They're just pointing to a picture. What else is misleading about the slices themselves?
They're the same amount of size.
Yeah, like this one that says 665 is the same one as this one that's 56. They're all the same size. So the pictures themselves have no meaning. All right. So really super weird and misleading graph. These first ones are probably our best ones. All right, let me slide forward to the next one. I do the same thing here. What does each graph represent, and what is misleading about the graph?
Which graph?
Both of them. Go ahead and do both at the same time. All right, you guys done with that one? Or it looks like Kevin's still right. I'll give you another minute or two to try and finish this one up. All right, so this first one here, this one is definitely way more misleading than this one. This one there's not a whole lot misleading about it. What are they trying to get across in this first one here?
The uprise and welfare.
Right, and is this the amount of money or what is this?
It's the amount of people.
The amount of people. So the number of people who are receiving federal welfare from first quarter of 2009 to the second quarter of 2011. When they're talking about quarters, realize that's every 3 months. So when they say quarter one, it's January, February, March, and so on. What is misleading about the data? It's always going up.
It's missing the years on the X line. Like it says number of Americans, but then it doesn't say years on the bottom.
All right. And pretty large number going up by. In the year 2009, the first quarter, how many people are on welfare?
98 million.
I think 97 million. Okay. Now this bar here is two lines up high. This one up here is 8 lines. So if I were to look at the bars, whoa, 4 times more? Oof. Is that what the data really is though? No, so this one is 4 times taller than that one. But let's look at the actual numbers there. Now, first quarter 2009, okay, there's 97 million people on welfare. 2 years later in 2011, that last one, that's about 107 million. Is that 4 times more?
No.
No, that's only 10 million more people Granted, that's a lot of people, but you look at this graph and like, holy cow, look how fast it's going up. It's not that much. It's probably 10% over 2 years. So that's the misleading part of that. All right. That would be similar to graphs. We haven't done many this year with you guys, but there's graphs where we put this little break in the graph, put a little squiggle there, and we say, okay, we want our data to start at 100, but then we're going by 105, 110, right? And it kind of does the same thing. You're just starting at a different point. So that's what they did there in that table. They jumped up to 94 million to start out with, and they go from there. All right. This next one here is what they're trying to describe is Fox News is how accurate they are when talking about climate change in their stories. What's misleading, the percentages are about right. That's 28% of the graph. That's 72%. But the accuracy itself may be off by just a little bit, could be misleading. Maybe by the thickness of this thing kind of popping up makes it more pronounced. But the actual percentages line up good. But the misleading data might not be off by too much. All right. I don't really like this one. I think this one, the pizza one, do a much better job showing misleading data. All right. Okay, take a look at this one, see if you can try and get what they're trying to communicate. Things that may be misleading in this one. This one's got some good stuff to it. Okay, how are we doing on this one? We good on this? Need more time? Okay. What are they trying to get across to us in this one? Number of COVID cases in counties in Georgia over a 15-day span. They also say the table below also represents the number of deaths and hospitalizations in each of those impacted counties. I'm not, so to me, there's a whole bunch of misrepresentations here. And they got one they notice. Caleb?
The way the dates go on the bottom.
The cases are decreasing over time.
Yeah. So they rearranged the dates so that, oh, everything's dropping, looking good. All right. They're all over the place. There's also, it says there's representation between deaths and hospitalizations. How do you know there's nothing that shows what was just someone getting it and someone dying from it? So it's really bad. Other things that really don't do it a lot of justice, if you think about it. Yeah, they always put the highest number first, and you don't know. Some of these counties may be way bigger than others, and you like this many in this county may be way bigger a deal than in another county. So it's really, they should be doing like if you've seen the ones that Minnesota does, if they go by county, they do cases per 10,000 people. It's a lot more. You can compare between counties a little more accurately than what they're doing here. Yeah, you just gotta. It's really done poorly. What was the other thing we said? And then, you know, some of these spikes in here, chances are, I don't know if you guys saw any of the Minnesota numbers. Sometimes you'll see a big spike. It's because like a certain lab didn't report test data for 2-3 days, and then they send them all at once. When you see like this county go from here up to here back down, that could be another explanation.
You don't know like how crowded each county is.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just a crazy bad one. All right, this one here. Oh, I've never seen a graph like this. So you guys take a look at this one. Figure out what they're trying to represent and what's misrepresented about it. All right, what are they trying to get across in this graph?
How many murders were committed using guns?
Murders used by guns in the state of Florida from approximately, I'm guessing, 1990 through like 2013, 14. The dots, to me, I'm guessing this first dot is 1990, and then it goes 1991. Every dot is a different year. All the way up to right here is 2000, which kind of, the way they do it is maybe a bit sketchy. This is probably 2010. What is super duper misleading about this graph, Caleb?
It's like flipped upside down.
Yeah, I have never seen a graph done this way. It is flipped upside down. Oh, murders must have been good down here. This is a good year. This is a good year. Look how low it is. We look at graphs from bottom up, right? This is the worst year. I've never seen it done zero down using positive numbers. And I'm guessing this was done intentionally because they enacted a law in 2005. It's the stand your ground law. And then that year, after that year, everything, the murders shot up. And maybe the legislature didn't want that being publicized. So they dropped, oh, look, crime's going down. That's all I can guess out of that. But the best years are the ones leading up to the law. They put the law in the fact that murders go through the roof. So very misleading that way, if you ask me. To me, that was the worst graph. Holy cow. All right. These last ones, we're going to only do one or two of these. These are, I'm guessing, done by a Google Doc where you type something in. Things that can be misleading here. We're going to jump to, what is that one? Okay. This one, how many children in your family? And maybe they didn't do a very good job describing it. But one family says they have, one person says they have 0 kids in their family. Well, if this is done, these are all done by students. You have to have at least, to be a student, you have to be a child in the family. And then they have some misleading things down here, like they have 3 kids, and this is 3 including me. There's 4 including me. Only me would be 1, I would assume. So things are misleading, a little bit of that, and there just weren't very good directions as far as the question went. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the Google Docs ones. I'll let you make your own interpretations. This one's not too bad. See if you can figure it out, what it represents, and if you see anything that's misleading. All right, so in this one, how many text messages did you send yesterday? Is they're telling you what they're trying to get across? Anything that stood out to me, there's not a whole lot that's wacky or crazy about this one.
That isn't labeled if they left out the purple.
Oh wow, I didn't know we didn't notice the purple before. Yeah.
They're missing 4.5%.
Yeah. Yep. So, and one thing, so they didn't give us the red. Once again, we could add all these up and then subtract from 100 to get that red one. Caleb?
What I noticed was like the orangish yellow color, it's 21 to 30, and the percentage is higher than the 31 to 40. It's like in an odd order.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Might have been more helpful. We're missing one, and maybe there isn't a 40. Maybe nobody went 41 to 50. So it's fairly straightforward. I could see a couple of things like that being misleading. But and maybe you want to do this instead of doing a circle graph, it might be better doing a bar graph so you could do it in those orders and you can kind of see how crazy people are. I think that would be the fix to it. Otherwise, pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys start on that assignment. Once again, you have all day tomorrow. There will not be a Google Meet tomorrow. 11th graders ACT testing. We'll be good to go. You'll upload it after class tomorrow.